Hello, my dear Capricorn. Welcome to your July reading. I'm so happy to be here with you. I've been meditating on your energy and I felt called to you. You're the first zodiac sign that I do for July. I rarely start with you, but I felt not only because it's a full moon in Capricorn tonight, I almost said Gemini, but not only is it a full moon in your sign, so your emotions must be really heightened at this time, which is part of the reason why I felt drawn to your energy and drawn to talk about you, to talk to you, right? You are at the cusp of something completely different. You have been wanting something different. You've been wanting to move away from feeling inadequate, from feeling like you haven't been successful in the things that you've been wanting to do, or perhaps they weren't received in the way that you wanted them. I feel a lot of stagnation in this pain, whatever this feeling of betrayal was for you. But trust that it's closing out for a reason. This chapter is ending so that you can move into a much brighter and more auspicious and fertile time where you will have more energy, more excitement, more opportunities. There's more connections to be made. There's more collaborations that will happen, but it's going to happen when you move away from whatever this shadow work is that you are doing at this time. There's a little bit of like a darker energy right now, in the sense that, in a positive sense, because once you're able to look at what that is for you and make peace with it and release it, right, you're going to be feeling so empowered and so integrated, and you will have learned so much from this experience that you'll just be a different person. Okay, there's something that you're releasing at this time. It could be a person, it could be a job, but most of all, it's something that has really hurt you. And I feel like this feels like the energy of, this feels like life path energy. Like somehow maybe the things that you've invested in, the things that you've wanted to do, there's a checkpoint here of making sure what those reasons are behind you wanting to do this, or behind you wanting to make this connection, or, like, is it about being seen? Is it about doing something that you saw someone else do and the way they were received, like you wanted to feel that, right? Like there's a little bit of shadow in here, and it's great because as you ask yourself those questions, as you look at that, you will step into a space where you start to understand that I'm getting lost and found. It's like you will find something again that, and it feels like a spark, right? I think we talked about this in last month's reading. So this is a continuation of this energy where you will find this new spark, and there's something around comfort and home. And it's about finding that for you. Like that's going to be more important than the success of what you're doing. Because when you're comfortable, the confidence that comes through and the way that you're able to shine when you are in familiar territory, it's like there's no one like you, right? So I really do feel like you will be found again. Like you've been feeling a little bit lost in whatever this situation was, and something that you tried out. It's like there's something that you tried to create or be a part of, or you did something different, right? Like maybe not your typical choice in a person or in a job or in a style or in a project, right? And great to try new things always, but there's a coming back home for you of like, what's the familiar and comfortable environment that works for me, that I can thrive off of, right? And so you're kind of being called to release that energy of needing it to be a certain way. Okay. So I do want to ask you, where are you going? Where are you headed? Because there's this compass that's come through for you. It feels like it feels like there's some options here. Um, there's a need to really isolate a little bit so that you can actually find your peace in this situation, right? Because again, there are opportunities on the horizon. There will be a new beginning. This is a bit of a transformation for you. It doesn't feel so far like a massive one, it feels just a little bit more emotional. And so there's some things here that didn't work out that you're having to kind of let go of those attachments. But Spirit's wanting you to really focus on the fact that this is a positive change for you, okay? And it's a change that you have been kind of neglecting in a sense, like you've been pushing it aside or not wanting to see it because you felt bound to something for whatever reason. There was some loyalty to something, and so you've kind of delayed making that decision. But I see you really doing that in June. Yeah, this summer solstice, like this, for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, it's been quite an activation for you. So things must be feeling different, and they will be getting better and better and brighter and sunnier for you in July. There's something that you really want to happen for you, okay? There's something that you've been working on, but what's interesting here is that it's like you've had this idea of what you want, and you've been chewing on it, you've been thinking about it, you've been sitting with it, and in a sense, like this idea, this path, this project, this life that you envision for yourself, it's like that part of it is clear to you, but you haven't moved forward, right? It's like you've been waiting for someone to kind of knock on your door, okay? This doesn't feel too active, meaning it doesn't feel like you've been doing a million things to try to achieve this thing. It feels a little bit more like you've been just sitting with the energy and just seeing how things play out, and seeing if someone offers you something better or something different. It feels like, but it's definitely, with these 2 pages here, this has been coming out a lot. This energy is in the collective reading that I did yesterday for the summer solstice as well. This feels like it's about 2 paths, okay? And yeah, there's a lot of 2 here for you, a lot of 2. So you are definitely feeling like your environment is reciprocating these things that you're having to look at, this shadow. Your environment is showing you that, meaning the people, your relationships, your dynamics, all of that is kind of like showing you where you are supposed to be moving to, where you're supposed to be headed towards, right? Like the doors that are closed or they're closing are for a reason, because it's to nudge you in this other direction, right? So there's that choice that you've been kind of delaying because you've been just focused on kind of the wounding and the healing and the pain that you went through for whatever reason. What's in the obstacle of making this choice? Oh, interesting. Okay. So I think for some of you, this doesn't feel like the typical, manifestation card for you in this position. It feels more like you've been trying to become an expert at something, and you've been trying to grow and evolve and learn, and I'm feeling like being studious and trying to figure out all of the tools that you've gathered, which are the ones that are right for you, which are the ones that you want to use in this, right, in this new direction. And it's been a challenge to get here. It's been a challenge to become that expert, right? And a lot of this has to do with focus. It feels like you've been a little bit more in the energy of being around people that make you feel good, spending a lot of time and sort of dedication to maybe your home life, maybe your family, maybe your children, your partner, maybe, your friends. Like, this has the energy of distraction. Okay. It's positive in the sense that it fills your heart, but there's kind of like a need to redirect your focus now, so that you can find what this spark is. Okay. And I think that this sort of distraction energy has been to avoid some of these hard truths, right? Having to confront some of the things, some of the realities about things that have happened, right? And some of these things that have happened have been, they've been unfortunate, right? They've been kind of like you feeling like, man, that was a stroke of bad luck. Can't believe that went down that way. I can't believe, this person did that to me. I can't believe that I'm not being seen. I'm not being validated. I'm not being, acknowledged for everything that I do, everything that I give. I'm really good at this thing. Like, why aren't people lining up at the door for this? Like, what is this about? So it feels a little bit like you've been down about, just things not going, you feeling like things haven't gone in your favor. But there is a level of trust here and of building your self-esteem and knowing that it's about you feeling good. Number one, that's the priority. And when you feel good, everything that you do is attractive and yummy. Okay. So this is about doing things that make you feel excited to be alive. All right. This isn't about you showcasing, some part of yourself because you really need that to be acknowledged, right? This is just about feeling good. And this is the energy of the collective as well right now. So you might be really pioneering and driving this shift for the collective, because this is feeling very, very Capricorn, but also, with the full moon in Capricorn and then the summer solstice reading, like, it's very connected to the current energy at this time. So, just know that things are evolving, they're moving, they're not moving at a very fast pace, and it's because there's still a lot for you to shed. There's still a lot for you to release. There's some clarity that you need, right, about your direction, about the kinds of people you want to be around. Some of you are longing for that comfort in home, right, that we talked about earlier. And some of you will be moving to go find that. You will be moving to go find that stability. And it could be a physical move, or it could be more of like moving into a different environment of people, a different job dynamic, a different group. And I see you really being successful at that. You will be able to care for yourself, thrive. But most importantly, what this is showing me is this time for you is completely about your solar plexus, and it's about you having the confidence to know that things will work out because you want them to and because you're being true to yourself. Okay, there's a lot of like sort of self-made energy here. Okay. Spirit, what's in the past here? Yeah, you've definitely had to heal from something that was not very, it wasn't a very pleasant experience. A lot of you have been really tired as well, and that's, I think, the exhaustion has been more like this fatigue of having to figure things out, and that's probably why you haven't really taken off with this thing that you're wanting to do, because you've been resetting, right? But now that you've done that, and now that you've, created a foundation for yourself where you're the higher power, right? Your spirituality, your sense of self, your place in the world, your guides, like depending on how spiritual you are, it's like you have had the time to reconnect, and you feel empowered by having that presence known to you, by knowing that you're not alone in this. Okay, so that's very beautiful. But there's still a lot, this is again like shadow energy. There's a lot still that you are getting over. There's a lot of things that have happened that have hurt you. This is feeling like like a nightmare in a way, you know, like just having really disturbing thoughts. You know, some of you, if you need to speak to someone like a therapist or a life coach, or you know, get a reading or something to help you shift this energy, because there's a lot here that you need to release. And it's almost like this dark, it feels like this dark swamp or lake, and you having to go in there and kind of traverse it, right? That's probably what the compass is about. It's like looking at those things that are not so comfortable to look at. Okay. Spirit, give me the timing here for July. Yeah. So as you move through this energy, you really have to understand that these feelings that you're having are about you mastering yourself, and about you mastering your emotions, and about you gaining some sort of balance. And so as things evolve, as you release this, as you move through the month of July, it might feel like things are not really in motion, right? It might feel like very stagnant, or it might feel like the opportunities are not there, but it's because you're still releasing this, right? You're still in this energy of, you know, having been sabotaged, or, you know, stabbed in the back in some way, or like someone not coming through for you in the way that you thought. Like there's a lot of pain here, but the new beginning is right after it. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I like this King of Cups here in your next steps for July, because this is showing me that there is some kind of emotional maturity that you've reached. There's been somewhat of an evolution, or there will be, and you're really being called to apply that, right? To apply those skills. Yeah, and to have that strength, right? So, that self-made energy, to have that confidence in yourself, and know that yes, there are obstacles on this path, but you will get through it. You will have that saving grace, you will have that support, you will have that hand extended to you. So just really trust in the balancing that's happening now. And for some of you, this is also about taming yourself. So there's a little bit of an ego death happening here. It's about like understanding your motivations and your impulses, and when you like lash out, or when you you know, it's more like that destructive energy, and it's like looking at that and learning how to co-create and be constructive with that energy, right? Not you not having to like tear down the house and like restart everything and burn things down just to feel like, you know, okay, it's time for me to move on. Like you can move on gracefully. You can do things gracefully, right? And so there's a mastery here of that approach. But you will achieve that. And so that passionate energy that can sometimes be a little bit more like, you know, like a Mars and Aries type of energy that, you know, can really just like light the town on fire. It's about harnessing that ability and those feelings so that you can channel them into your creations, as opposed to like, you know, hurting people or cutting people, right? What's in the outcome for July, Spirit? Oh, wow, that's okay. Let's see. Oh no, those are already there. Oh, look at this. So beautiful. Oh, heck yes. Oh my goodness. I can't believe this many came out. Okay, so Spirit wants you to know, despite everything that we're talking about, you're absolutely, here's another new beginning, right? You have the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. Like this is like absolute emotional fulfillment in what you do. And this is even about you, like the things that make your heart happy are the things that will bring you that stability and abundance that you're seeking, right? And so towards the end of July, you will have that clarity. It's important that, you know, this feels like you feel kind of like the team leader here for whatever this dynamic is, or the leader in general. And it's important for you to master these emotions so that you don't hurt people, and understand how to check in with your team, right? This could be family, it doesn't have to be work dynamic, but it's still a team, it's still a unit, right? it could be your friends, it could be, you know, people that you collaborate with in projects, could be both, right? They could be your friend, lover, and your business partner, right? But this is about you checking in with that community that is following you, that is serving you, right? Like they've been good to you, they've been loyal to you in some way, because of how amazing you are, because you have that ability to lead. So it's also checking in with them and seeing if, are they still in alignment with where you're headed and where you want to go and where you envision things? Because if not, it's okay. You'll have to just make, you know, decisions. This is you being the boss and you taking charge of the situation, and make decisions of like, okay, well, you know, this person seems to be headed this way, so I'm going to move in the other direction. And I know that I will, you know, meet the right people along the way, right? So there's kind of like, this is a very practical approach, which I like. You know, when on a good day, this is your strength, right? And so you're going to move from that beautiful, like, boss, self-made energy in making decisions for yourself, but also being a good leader, right? Like caring for your team, caring for their needs, not just seeing them as like, okay, they're solving my problems in this way and they're doing because I need help, right? It's like, that's clear. Like, we get that you need help. That's why you have this support group. But they also have a place in this dynamic, right? And so you taking care of them is going to make you even more abundant and more prosperous as that leader, right? And so here you are, you're healing some things. I mean, you're definitely healing things that feel more like times where you just weren't seen, right? Like this feels like wounds from times where things didn't, you know, where you weren't acknowledged, where you should have been, right? Like, it's not, I'm not saying that that's wrong. Like, yeah, you should have been, and you weren't for whatever reason. And it feels like that reason is for you to get to this point where you're not needing that acknowledgement, and you're automatically going to attract that when you are a good leader, when you are a good boss, when you are a good team player, when you care about others. Like, it's kind of like that ego death that I'm talking about. You're going to be so happy when you get there, when you release this, and look at all of these beautiful possibilities and opportunities that start coming to you, right? We talked about this in the beginning with this Ace of Pentacles. You know, this is the same energy, but Spirit's highlighting it as the outcome for July, right? Like, as you move away from these things that you think that you need, and you start moving from like a much more heart-centered place, you will start something new. You will embark on something new, but it's going to be different this time, because you're going to have mastered yourself to a point where there's no way that this isn't going to work. There's no way that you won't be supported in all of these different things that you want to do. Okay, my loves. Beautiful energy. I would like to pull some moon magic cards for you to, let me just check here, to confirm, or, oh man, this is happening again. Sorry, my audio keeps cutting, like my microphone keeps shutting off. I'm just going to try to hit record again, but the camera will have picked it up. It's just not as good audio. Okay. So I want to pull a couple of moon messages to see if there's anything else that can come out during this reading. Please know that there will be an extended version of this reading, so we're going to dive deeper into this energy. I'm going to meditate on your energy a little bit longer, and then we will go through all of these cards on a deeper level, okay? So if you want to join me, the link will be in the description box. But if this is where we part ways, it's looking very, very beautiful for you, okay? I'm very happy to see like all of the emotions that are coming out, you know, this month, because that's where you can, once all of that's washed away, you can really start again, right? Yeah, here's that focus that we talked about. It says, I have a balanced relationship with time. I use it well. So it's eliminating the distractions at this point and the need to like procrastinate and, you know, just run away from the issues. It's like, let's actually look at them now and let's address them, right? And look, I teach people how to treat me. I love this because that's the energy I was picking up here, where it feels like you are some sort of leader in some way. It doesn't have to be like a specific job title, you know, it could just be in the energy of who you are, right? Like you lead people, like you're a guide in some way. And it feels like maybe when you're not reciprocated or even acknowledged, or you feel like in a sense like you're doing this alone, and it's like, why do I feel so lonely when I have all of this around me, right? So it's about being able to communicate from the beginning, you know, where your hard lines are, your boundaries, but from a place of strength and confidence, but lovingly and kindly, right? Not having to get to the point where, you know, it becomes destructive and hurtful for others, right? People who didn't really know that they were causing you this. So there's a beautiful like learning for you in teaching people how to treat you right. And here's your new beginning. Like, I'm ready for something bigger, better, and brighter. Okay, so that's like the lost and found energy, which I love. I also want to pull a couple of soul mirror cards, which for some reason I can't find right now. I'm going to look for them though, because I feel like with all this shadow stuff going on, I think it's going to be really good to look at. I have so many cards here. Oh, they're there. Oh, interesting. And they're sitting right underneath. Look, here you are as the King of Pentacles, which I love. This is totally your boss energy, your self-made energy, your cool, calm, and collected, pragmatic self, like knowing, you know, what it is that you want to do, guiding your team right, you know, setting the right intentions, watching it grow, having the patience and the maturity. Like, I really love that for you. But here, this beautiful soul mirror deck, which is incredible because it shows you the shadow side of each card and also the light side, right? Like how to transmute it. But the Six of Swords was sitting on top of it. So, you know, this is going to be key for you. This is why I really want to use this deck. It's going to be key for you to getting to those calmer waters, and on this journey as you move forward, it's going to allow you to release so much. Like these shadow things that have come up, they're not just like disturbing thoughts. They're real things that you have to look at. And once you do that, you'll be able to move, you know, like that compass that I saw. You'll be able to feel like, oh, I'm found again, right? I'm not lost anymore. Spirit, what soul mirror card does Capricorn need to address or look at for July? What do they need to transmute? I tried to put those back and they just came out anyway. Okay, so first of all, they came out reversed, so that would be the shadow side of the card, right? So it feels here you have blessings, and so when this card comes out reversed, it's a little bit of a warning sign to be a little bit more grateful and be more aware of the blessings that are in your life, the things that have gone your way, the things that you do have, the people you can rely on. Like, there's a little bit of like that Four of Cups energy where you're kind of sitting there with your arms crossed, right? And you have some things to look at and to account for and to be grateful for, but you're kind of like, you know, just like looking the other way at things that aren't working, right? So you've had some really beautiful opportunities as well within this that maybe got overshadowed by just miscommunication and, you know, sort of like your desired outcome or like your expectations as opposed to what was really in front of you, right? And then here we have alignment. So with that, I will say that to be in full alignment with your life path, with your gifts, with your soul, with your heart, with what you really want to do on the planet, there is no room for dishonesty. Like, there's absolutely no room for it, because what ends up happening is you start creating a path directed at something that's not really your truth, right? And you can go an entire lifetime doing that. And so this is a very big awakening that Spirit is bringing you to ensure that you are in alignment by being truthful to yourself of like what is it that I really actually enjoy. Like, am I just doing this for the likes? Am I just doing this, because this image is something that used to feed me, but now it's not really doing that, right? So it's having those uncomfortable truths. That's what's going to help you really find yourself and really find your truth and find your tribe and your passion and your calling, right? So you're in the middle of this, right? You're in search of the spark, and the spark is you. So the faster you can have these conversations with self, the faster you will find it. But this is the process that you're going through in July, my loves. Okay, so if this is where we part ways, I wish you a beautiful, beautiful month. If you want to join me in the extended, it's down below. Thank you so much, and I love you.